Okay, back to talking about Doctor Who. Peter Cushing, specifically Peter Cushing so far. Peter Cushing in Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD when he was Doctor Who. Okay, more about Peter that I got from Wikipedia. More about Peter Cushing. Peter worked a lot to deal with the grief from the death of his wife. Tim Burton and Johnny Depp had said that Ichabod Crane, in their production of Sleepy Hollow, was meant to resemble Peter Cushing's Hammer movie performances. Peter wrote 2 autobiographies. Peter played Baron Frankenstein 6 times. And Dr. Van Helsing, Dracula's adversary, 5 times. Peter starred in movies several times with Christopher Lee. They were good friends. Peter also starred in movies with Vincent Price. Other Hammer movies that Peter was in were The Abominable Snowman, which reminds me of a Doctor Who DVD I just got called The Abominable Snowman, but that is with Patrick Troughton. The Yeti. Okay, so other Hammer movies that Peter Cushing was in were The Abominable Snowman, The Mummy, and The Hound of the Baskerville. The Hound of the Baskerville was the first of several times that Peter would play Sherlock Holmes. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's time to show my Peter Cushing collection. Okay, so I'm not sure. This might have been the first push. This might have been the first. Uh, no, it wasn't. I was gonna say this might have been the first Peter Cushing movies that I got, but no, I got Star Wars before that. Anyway, so this is uh, 3 DVD box set titled The Doctor Who Collection. So one of these I'll be talking about more in what happens in it. So there's two Doctor Who movies with Peter Cushing, and there's also this Dalek Mania. Which is a documentary about the Daleks and Peter Cushing's involvement, the movies that Peter Cushing was in, which both had the Daleks. Both of these movies had the Daleks in them. The first one, Doctor Who and the Daleks. And then the second one, which I'll be talking about later, Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. So there's that. Oh, okay. So before I get to the other ones, so this one, Doctor Who and the Daleks. The first Doctor Who movie, starring Peter Cushing. That it is the same story as the first Dalek story in the Doctor Who show from here. But this is with William Hartnell. So it's the same story. They use the same script. Which kind of seems like... It's kind of thinking like... It kind of seems lazy. Why did they use the same story? Why didn't they think up something else? Because for the viewers that had already seen the original on the show, the original story, the Dalek story on the show, it's the same. There was nothing really different about it. Not too much. It's basically the same story. But I suppose maybe so Terry Nation, the creator of the Daleks, maybe because he had the rights to them, maybe he was just busy with working with the show, I guess. So maybe that's why he didn't have time to come up with a different script, a different idea for a movie. Maybe that's why it was exactly the same, pretty much. as what was already shown to audiences of the TV show. So kind of uh, it's not that exciting if you already know what's going to happen. But I suppose the first time you watch the movie, you don't know that it's pretty much the same. But as you're watching it, maybe you're realizing this is the same story. They didn't really change it at all. So in a way, that's kind of disappointing that they couldn't have come up with a more they couldn't have come up with an original story. It's just retelling the same story that was already said in that was already told in the show of Doctor Who. I'll read the I'll read what it says on the back here. So it says Doctor Who and the Daleks, the wildest space adventure on or off the Earth. The legendary Peter Cushing stars in this fantastic film adaptation of the beloved BBC TV serial that captured the imagination of the world. Eccentric scientific genius Doctor Who activates the TARDIS, a remarkable time machine disguised as an ordinary police call box. But when the Doctor, his granddaughters, and their friend Ian are transported to the mysterious planet Skaro, they discover a race of innocent humanoids under siege by the evil robot-like Daleks. Can the Doctor protect this peaceful society from destruction, as well as save the entire universe from a diabolical invasion of the future? All right. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happens in the TV series. For the first Dalek story. And I think even the second Doctor Who movie, I think that was taken directly from a script from the series, also from another William Hartnell uh, Dalek story. But because um, I haven't seen very much of uh, William Hartnell as the Doctor, so I haven't seen the original that the second movie is based on. So I can't really say too much about that. But I'm pretty sure both of the Doctor Who movies were taken from stories from the show. They weren't original stories, which is a little disappointing. Okay, so continuing on with my showing my Peter Cushing collection. This is a this is a good one. It's an old I guess you could call it like a B movie. So the special effects aren't they aren't amazing because they were done a long time ago. This movie was made a long time ago, so the special effects are not amazing because they didn't have very much money back then, or they didn't have very much money when they were making this movie for special effects. But it's a good movie. It's called Island of the Burning, Damned. . 'Island of the Burning, Damned. 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 'Island of which also okay. So this has Peter Cushing and Patrick Allen, but it also has Christopher Lee in it. And one part I thought was really funny was when Christopher Lee's character, so he plays a standoffish uh, character, which I can relate to because many times in my life I have felt that I wanted to be standoffish. So it was very relatable but it was just funny to see the Christopher Lee's character. So he's in, I think it was like an inn, and someone in the this inn was trying to get Christopher Lee's character's attention, and he completely ignores them, and he just walks right. He just keeps walking. He just walks out the building and leaves. Just that attitude I just found very amusing. He just didn't care. He just, at least that's what it looked like. So I just thought that was very funny. And then here is the Amicus collection, which has Asylum, and Now the Screaming Starts, and The Beast Must Die. So 3 movies on this collection. And here's Star Wars. So on here, it's a Blu-ray collection of Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So Peter Cushing was just in the first one, but here's that. So this is, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this is the first Star Wars movie was the first time I ever saw Peter Cushing. Before this, I was not aware of who Peter Cushing was. So it's a very good performance uh, by Peter Cushing in Star Wars. It's funny to see him after you've seen him in Star Wars, and if you only know him from Star Wars, and then you see him in other movies like the Doctor Who movies, he's very different. He his character is very different in the Doctor Who movies compared to uh, who he played the villain who when he played the villain in Star Wars. Very different. All right. I've had this one for a long time. The Satanic Rites of Dracula, which also has, so it's Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. So this is Christopher Lee's eyes on the top of the DVD. And I have another collection here of 4 movies. It's titled Horror Rises from the Grave. And on this collection, which has Peter Cushing in it, and also John Hurt. On this, the movies on here are Horror Rises from the Tomb, Zombie Flesh Eater, Zombie Hell House, and Night of the Ghoul. So we got a scary looking cover to this DVD collection. And then I have From Beyond the Grave, which also has Donald Pleasance in it. So here's another thing with Peter Cushing. This is yeah. This is like a anthology type of thing. It's got I'll just read a little bit on the back here. Bolt the door, lower the lights, and settle in for a stylish 5-episode supernatural shocker possessed of a shivery all-star cast and drenched in evil. Welcome to Temptations Limited, a decrepit antique shop whose unwary customers get more than they bargained for from the wily proprietor, Peter Cushing. And then it goes on to say more about it, but that's enough. I just wanted to explain what Peter Cushing's role in this was. So that's pretty good. Okay, and then I have a Vincent Price collection, which is got a lot of, looks like, yeah, 6 movies on here. And Peter Cushing is in one of them at least. Which one? Oh, he's in, okay. Peter Cushing, okay, so on this collection, this Vincent Price collection, is The Abominable Dr. Phibes, Scream and Scream Again, Pit and the Pendulum, Tales of Edgar Allan Poe's Tales of Terror, The Mask of the Red Death, and Madhouse. And it looks like Peter Cushing, I think Peter Cushing is just in this last one here, Madhouse. Okay, so Madhouse has Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, and Robert Quarry. So here's the collection. And here's a closer look at Madhouse. Oh, yeah, here's Peter Cushing on the back with Vincent Price. Okay, so that's my Peter Cushing collection. Well, that's a long video. All right, I guess it's time to stop. Yep.